They lied to you. Every single one of you who sat in that arena at WrestleMania 42, who screamed your lungs out, who cried, who believed they lied to you. Because what WWE sold you as a feel-good moment, as a triumphant chapter, as the American nightmare riding off into the sunset as champion, that story is over. And it didn't end in a blaze of glory. It didn't end with pyro and confetti. It ended in a dark, cold corridor backstage on Smackdown. It ended with Cody Rhodes, your champion, your hero, the man who finished his story crumpled on a concrete floor, motionless, surrounded by panicking trainers and a medical team scrambling to keep him stable. And the man standing over him, looking down with absolutely zero remorse? Randy Orton. The Viper struck. And this time, he didn't just bite, he devoured. Segment 1, setting the scene. Let's go back. Let's go all the way back to WrestleMania 42, because you need to understand the full picture to truly grasp the magnitude of what happened on SmackDown this past Friday night. WrestleMania 42 was supposed to be Cody Rhodes' coronation. After everything, the injuries, the betrayals, the Triple H drama, the repeated heartbreaks, Cody stood in that stadium as the undisputed WWE Champion, arms raised, tears in his eyes, the crowd behind him like a wall of pure human emotion. It was one of those moments that reminds you why you fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. But here's the thing about professional wrestling, and here's the thing about Randy Orton specifically: the higher you climb, the harder someone is going to try to drag you back down. Randy Orton wasn't at WrestleMania 42 in a featured role. He wasn't in the main event. He wasn't the story. And if you know anything about the Randy Orton of the last 2 decades, you know that there is absolutely nothing more dangerous than a Randy Orton who feels overlooked. A Randy Orton who is watching from the side of the stage while someone else gets the roses. A Randy Orton who is calculating, patient, and seething just beneath the surface of that cold, expressionless face. He was watching Cody. He was watching every celebration, every interview, every championship photo op. And he was waiting. Segment 2, what happened on SmackDown. Friday night on SmackDown, the atmosphere was electric. The post-WrestleMania episode is always one of the hottest nights of the year. The crowd is fired up, the roster is buzzing, and champions come out to bask in the glory of their biggest wins. Cody Rhodes was scheduled to appear. He was going to address the WWE Universe for the first time as champion following WrestleMania 42. It was supposed to be a celebration. It never happened. Because according to multiple sources and what was captured on the SmackDown cameras, Cody Rhodes was ambushed backstage before he could even make it to the curtain. Before the music. Before the pyro. Before the crowd even knew he was coming. Randy Orton was waiting in the corridor. Now, I want you to think about what that means. This wasn't a spontaneous altercation. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment confrontation that spiraled out of control. Randy Orton positioned himself deliberately in that backstage area. He knew Cody's schedule. He knew his route to the entrance. He planned this with the surgical precision that only a 20-year veteran with ice in his veins could execute. Eyewitnesses reported that Orton emerged from the shadows near the production area just as Cody was making his way toward the gorilla position. There were words exchanged, brief, sharp words, and then, before Cody or anyone around him could react, Orton lunged. What followed was not a wrestling match. What followed was not a rivalry confrontation. What followed was a beating. Orton drove Cody headfirst into the steel equipment casing lining the corridor wall. The sound alone reportedly made crew members freeze in place. He then grabbed Cody, and this is the part that should enrage every single one of you. He dragged him by the neck toward a production table and delivered an RKO, a vicious, deliberate RKO directly onto the concrete floor. Not onto a table. Not onto padding. Onto the bare concrete floor of the backstage corridor. Cody Rhodes went down and did not get up. Segment 3, the aftermath. Medical personnel were on the scene within minutes. Reports from people inside the building described Cody as unresponsive for a brief but terrifying period before regaining consciousness. He was placed on a stretcher, stabilized, and transported to a nearby medical facility. As of the taping of this video, WWE has officially listed Cody Rhodes as being in critical but stable condition. Let me say that again for the people in the back: critical condition. This is not a work. This is not an angle they're selling you. The championship reign that was supposed to define this era of WWE programming has been derailed in the most brutal, shocking fashion imaginable. And the man responsible, Randy Orton, walked away from the scene without being stopped, without being restrained, and without saying a single word to the cameras that eventually found him leaving the arena. Not a smirk. Not a statement. Nothing. That silence is more chilling than anything he could have said. Now, and this is where I need every single one of you to pay very close attention, because the wrestling world is divided right now and I want to know where you stand. Let's talk about the why. Because there are 2 very different schools of thought circulating on wrestling Twitter, in the comment sections, in the Reddit threads, and in every locker room conversation being whispered right now. Segment for the motive debate. Theory number 1, this is personal. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes have history that the casual fan may not fully appreciate. These are two men who came up through the same era, who have both worn the WWE Championship, who have both been lauded as generational talents. But where Cody left and had to rebuild his name from scratch in the independents and AEW before fighting his way back, Orton never left. Orton was always here. Always a cornerstone. Always handed opportunities. And now Cody the prodigal son comes back, wins the title, gets the WrestleMania moment, gets the tears and the speeches and the legacy moment, while Randy Orton, a legend, a Hall of Famer in everything but official ceremony, watches. Some people inside WWE Creative are reportedly saying that Orton genuinely snapped. That this wasn't a calculated corporate move or a storyline directive. That Randy Orton, the human being, reached a psychological breaking point watching someone he views as a peer and maybe even a rival receive the kind of adulation and legacy validation that Orton has long felt he deserves. Theory number 2, and this one is darker, is that Randy Orton is working for someone. Names are being floated. I won't say all of them on this video, but the one name that keeps coming up, the one name that multiple insiders keep whispering, is a name that will absolutely shatter this fanbase if it turns out to be true. And I promise you that if the breadcrumbs I'm currently following lead where I think they lead, this channel is going to be the first to break it wide open. But here's what I need from you right now: drop your theory in the comments. Who do you think is behind this? Is Orton acting alone? Is someone pulling his strings? Because the comment section on this video could literally shape how this story gets covered going forward, and WWE watches these comment sections. People, they know where the fanbase stands. Segment 5: The Championship Picture. Now let's talk about the immediate fallout, because this affects the entire WWE landscape. With Cody Rhodes in critical condition, the undisputed WWE Championship is in a state of complete limbo. WWE has not officially addressed the status of the title. There has been no statement from Triple H. There has been no emergency press conference. There has been nothing but silence from Stamford, and that silence is deafening. Here's what we know: Cody cannot defend the title right now. Physically, medically, he is not cleared to compete. Which means that within the next week, WWE is going to be forced to make a decision that will either honor Cody's reign or effectively end it. Option 1: they strip the title and hold a tournament or a match to crown an interim champion. This is the nuclear option, and frankly, it would be a catastrophic misread of the fanbase. You do not strip a beloved babyface champion under these circumstances without incurring the wrath of your audience. Option 2: they keep the title on Cody, freeze his reign, and build toward his dramatic return. This is the storytelling play, and honestly, if executed correctly, this could be the rocket fuel for the single greatest comeback story WWE has told in years. Because imagine Cody Rhodes, who fought through a torn pec, who lost at WrestleMania 39 before coming back and winning at 40, coming back from a Randy Orton sneak attack to reclaim his glory and his championship. The pop in that building would break the Richter scale. Option 3, and this is the wildcard nobody is talking about: Randy Orton demands a title shot on the grounds that Cody is medically unable to compete. And in a perverse, twisted, heel logic kind of way, he might actually have a case. And if WWE leans into this, if they give Orton the microphone and let him make that argument in front of a live crowd, you are going to witness something special in terms of heel work. Because Randy Orton, with a legitimate grievance, twisted through his own warped moral framework, is one of the most compelling characters in the history of this industry. Segment 6: Randy Orton's legacy moment. Let me take a moment here, because I think we owe it to this story to talk about what this means for Randy Orton as a character and as a legacy act. Randy Orton is 46 years old. He is a 14-time world champion. He is arguably the greatest pure heel performer in the history of WWE programming. And yet, and this is the uncomfortable truth, in recent years, the fanbase has softened on him. The RKO out of nowhere memes. The RK Bro era with Riddle. The lovable veteran who occasionally does something incredible. Randy had become, and I say this with respect, somewhat comfortable. This attack on Cody Rhodes? This is not comfortable Randy. This is not RK Bro Randy. This is legend killer Randy. This is the Viper who slithered into Evolution as a cocky 24-year-old and punted legends in the skull just because he could. This is the Randy Orton who once said he does what he wants, when he wants, to whoever he wants, and meant every syllable. If this is the final chapter of Randy Orton's in-ring career, and for his sake and ours, I hope it isn't, but if it is, then this is the note he wants to go out on. Not as a beloved veteran taking polite applause. As the most dangerous man in WWE. As the man who took out the champion in cold blood and dared anyone to do something about it. That's a legacy. Segment 7: Call to Action/Close. So here's where we are: Ring Rumble 1 family. Cody Rhodes is in critical condition. Randy Orton is walking free. The WWE Championship is in limbo. And the WWE Universe is more divided, more enraged, and more emotionally invested than it has been in years. I need 3 things from you right now, and I mean right now before you close this video. Number 1: drop your theory in the comments. Solo Orton, or is someone pulling the strings? I will personally respond to every theory that comes through in the first hour. Let's figure this out together. Number 2, share this video. Seriously, if you have a wrestling fan in your life who doesn't know what happened Friday night, they need to see this. This is a watershed moment and Ring Rumble 1 is covering it with the depth it deserves. Number 3, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I promise you this story is not over. We are days away from a major development. I have sources working. I have footage being reviewed. And when the next domino falls, Ring Rumble 1 is going to be the channel you want to be watching. Cody Rhodes finished his story once. Randy Orton just started writing a new one.